All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Can you show me a thumbs up? Am I audible? Yes? Okay, great. So, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, dear teachers. A warm welcome to today's webinar on Sustainable Development Goals. We are delighted to have you all with us today for this insightful academic session. So I'm Pooja Vashist, Academic Excellence Manager at Edward Publishing Company. And I'm very happy and very pleased to we have been hosting this session today on behalf of Edward. Let me tell you a brief about Edward Publishing Company. Edward Publishing Company, an ELT specialist and leading curriculum publisher, is a part of ABP Education. Edward works closely with schools across India to deliver curriculum-aligned resources, research-driven pedagogy, and professional development programs aligned with NEP 2020 and NCF. We have a strong focus on improving classroom practices and learning outcomes. Now, coming to today's session, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, said by Nelson Mandela. Now, when the world came together to define the Sustainable Development Goals, education was placed at the heart because every goal, from poverty to climate action, begins in a classroom. So today's conversation is about how what we teach and how we teach shapes the future we want to see. And we are honored to have Ms. Pallavi, our speaker today, with us. Ms. Pallavi is an environmental educator, sustainability practitioner, and researcher with extensive experience in conservation education and community engagement. She has led lake and forest conservation projects across Karnataka, including work in Bengaluru, Bhadra, Nagarhole tiger reserves, focusing on ecological restoration, scientific studies, and community capacity building. She has actively contributed to initiatives on climate change, energy, and biodiversity conservation and sustainable development, engaging students, communities, educators, and corporate professionals through workshops, nature trails, campaigns, and guest lectures. She has also played a key role in education for sustainable development and government-led schools initiatives across the state, supporting teacher training and the model school approach in collaboration with 𝗪𝗏 𝗪𝗏𝗃𝗃. Ms. Pallavi has been also recognized for her impactful work, including the Star Educator Award 2025 for excellence in nature and education and ESD, and a felicitation by the former governor of Karnataka in 2013 for her service to education. With strong field expertise and academic depth, she effectively connects global SDGs with meaningful local action. We are confident that today's session will offer practical insights on all these topics and the very important sustainable development goals. So we are very pleased and we welcome once again Ms. Pallavi with us today. Welcome, Pallavi. And
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pooja. It was wonderful hearing to you. I think you've really set a stage for what are we going to expect today and what is the discussion is going to ponder and around and all that. And as you rightly told, I think education is in the heart of sustainable development goal. You have rightly pointed out, probably if we start from 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 4 starts, where our heart actually lies in. Right, it's a very wonderful one. You have set the stage right for all of us, and for me, it's really a great opportunity to connect with educators who are actually, who are the architecture for the future generation. With respect to everything, who knows the children who are studying with them can be a CEO of a company, who can be a prime minister of a country future, or a president to rule. Who can be a UN nation head in future coming days, right? So it's a wonderful platform for me. So thank you so much for your generous word and giving me this opportunity. Yes, so let's start off today's webinar. It's a very dear and very close to my heart, this particular topic. So teachers, I would like to have this session very interactive, and I would like to hear a lot from you. So to begin, right? Yes, to begin off, I would like to ask you all something. I would request you to just close your eyes for some time, and if possible, please put your cameras on, at least, at least for some time. So it gives us a one-to-one interaction, right? So please switch on your cameras. Please switch on your cameras. Possibly, please teachers, if you can switch on your cameras. Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you, Rekha ma'am. Thank you, teachers. Please switch on your cameras. It is going to be a great session, an interactive session for you all. Thank you so much. Yes.
It's wonderful to come. Yeah, right. So then before I begin with the second activity, which I was trying to talk to you all before closing your eyes, I would like to hear from where you are joining in. So please, if you can put it in the chat box, I want to know the place where you're joining from. Bangalore, Cochin, Delhi. So please start putting in the chat box. I want to know how nationally we are connected today. So please put the cities you are joining from. Please put it in the chat box. Calicut, wonderful, wonderful. I want to know the place you're joining from. Please put it in the chat box. Most of them are from Calicut, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So is everybody from Calicut? And anything else? So that shows is people from Calicut more worried about the Sustainable Development Goals. Wonderful. Yes. Can I have more people? More? No, it's all Calicut. Wonderful, wonderful. Right. Great. Good to go. So I think we have understood most of them are from Calicut. My next question or my next request to you all as teachers, close your eyes for a minute. Close your eyes for a minute. And I request you to imagine or go back and visualize one landscape you all can recollect from your childhood, a very early childhood, where probably the age of your 6 years, 7 years, within that, in your early childhood, 6, 7, 8, 9, maximum, not more than that, in your early childhood, if you can remember a real place or a landscape where you have spent your time, had a good time, close your eyes and please visualize that particular place. Done? If you're done, I think I've already started sharing my screen. My request is, teachers, if you have a pen and a pencil, if you have a pen and a pencil, if you have a pen and a pencil, just scribble whatever you visualized. Just scribble. I don't want you to, not writing in words, huh? Whatever the landscape look like, just scribble it. I don't want a beautiful painting though, but just scribble what you visualized. Once you're done, please send a thumbs up. You can send it in the reaction or put it across in the chat box that you're done. Just scribble that landscape. Once you're done, please send me a thumbs up. Whatever you have visualized. So people are more here from Calicut, so I can visualize. You will have beautiful memories from the beach side of Calicut, landscapes of coconut trees, right? Once you're done with your scribbling, please put it in the chat box. Done. Great. So teachers, now what you have to do is, parallelly, now I will ask you a question. Whatever you have done, no? One by one we'll start, okay? So what do you think is least important in that? Delete it. Just put a scratch on that. You've drawn so many items on your page, correct? So whatever you think is least important, it's okay. It's okay to lose it. Maybe just put one tick on that. Done? Once you're done, again, send me a thumbs up. Shall we do one more now? I'm asking for the second object now. One object is done. So anyone who can message me, what did you delete? The first object, what did you delete? You can put it in the chat box. Whatever you have deleted, the first item, you think it's okay, one, it's of least importance. So if you have deleted something, what have you deleted? Please put it in the chat box. I'm waiting for that. I'm not got any response. Please respond. If you've done the task of deleting something, please put it in the chat box. Done? Okay, so somebody says couldn't delete anything. That's memory is precious for me. So sorry. So Shoni ma'am says she has not deleted anything. Wonderful. Anything else? Anybody who could find something, it's okay to be deleted? No?
Amrutha ma'am said a shop nearby.
A shop nearby. What shop was it, ma'am? Very interesting. Something interesting. So which shop was it? What was he selling inside that? Wonderful. It's a something to look into. A very curious one. Wonderful. Right. So I'll proceed with this presentation. Hope my slide is visible to you. So teachers, something, probably it is just an artwork. I could capture it. If my screen is visible, a rough landscape from a village side of a beautiful country like India, right? I think India is one of the probably a blessed country having such demography, versatile demography and versatile geography. So I've just taken one random landscape. And as you know, human beings live in such a good harmony with nature. And I'm sure if you can see some images here, no, I think this is what we all can somewhere connect to, probably, if not, probably in our current livelihood, or if we would have gone to any of our natives around and all that, I'm sure some would have seen cattle rearing, the picture. And is there anybody who has seen sparrow? Sparrow in your childhood? A sparrow? If you've seen it, if you have seen, please put a thumbs up to me, right? If you have seen any sparrows in your childhood, wonderful. Have anyone come across this particular image like this? Have you seen a nest, any bird nest near a bush near your plant, or throughout, around your window somewhere, or a space in the window? A beautiful bird nest, if you have seen and got excited, or you have seen a bird hatching the egg and keeping it there. Have you ever come across? If you have come across, please send me a thumbs up again. Then, is there anybody who has an experience of catching a dragonfly and playing with that? A dragonfly you can see on the left corner, a dragonfly which is an insect, right? So if you had an experience to catch, run behind that, please put a thumbs up. And I'm sure most of you have seen a lot of birds around and all that. And of course, we had beautiful, again, I repeat, it was pets around. Now, having all that, as I actually told you or gave you a task of deleting, which is least important. Imagine once if a day would come and just start seeing what happens now. You could see a dragon insect disappearing. The flowering plants are disappearing. The cattle are disappearing. So you could see the pets which are disappearing, because today in most of the cosmopolitan cities, having a pets at home is also, it's actually considered to be nuisance. I'm sure you're aware of it, right? Maintaining that, taking them to having their poop habits, all that is such a nuisance it's considered to be nowadays, but which actually is not. But previously, how harmoniously we lived. Then what happens? The birds which fly with a lot of seeds and coming in front of our house, that vanished, which disappeared. The cattle disappeared. Then it is one and only the man who is actually remaining here. Do you agree with me that after all this vanishing, as a human being, do you think we have a happy life or no? And if already teachers, you had a task which I gave you to visualize something from your early childhood, and how many of you can, even now, after probably, I mean, at least 20 years you have passed now, how many of you have that blessing to go back and see the same landscape which exists even today after 20 years? If you've had that, nothing like it. But I'm sure most of the landscapes have changed. Most of the landmark, probably when you're driving in a place, you will understand that most of the, I mean, before it used to be some trees or nearby very old shops used to be our landmark. But today those landmarks doesn't exist at all. Those trees doesn't exist. Those landscape doesn't exist, right? So if that is the case, where are we going to head? So to even before proceeding into our main topic today, I would like to play a small video for you. Help me to understand if it is visible for you and audible. Pooja, help me if it is audible and visible.
No, wait.
Yes, it is.
Great.
Disappeared. Huh? Then I will also disappear. No, wait. I am confused. Oh, some. Planet Earth is inhabited by billions of mammals and birds, trillions of insects and fishes. It would be impossible to imagine what Earth would look like if all animals disappeared. Huh? Secondly, more than 90% of the human population consumes meat. If all animals disappeared, they would have no choice but to turn vegetarian. Thirdly, livestock industry, meat industry, zoos, national parks employ millions of people. If all animals disappeared, they will have to look for new jobs. Fourthly, millions of people around the world own a pet. If all animals disappeared, pet owners would need to nurse their broken hearts. Lastly, animals as well as humans have evolved over billions of years and have become part of a delicate food chain. If all animals disappeared, the entire food chain will collapse. There were no sharks. No need of sharks. I am there to scare everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. Firstly, the makers of shark movies will have to search for a new villain. Secondly, sharks have been around for more than 400 million years. With no sharks, the natural food chain in the oceans might just completely collapse. Thirdly, with no sharks around to eat those fishes which eat algae-eating fishes, there will be a drastic decrease in algae-eating fishes. This will lead to an exponential increase in the amount of algae. This algae will cover the coral reefs, not allowing it to photosynthesize. This loss of habitat will lead to mass extinction. Fourthly, sea creatures which depend on sharks' nitrogen-rich poo for nourishment will suffer. On the flip side, surfers as well as people with galleophobia, as in fear of sharks, will be one happy lot. What if all bats disappear? Then I will wear my special bat costume and surprise everybody. Oh, Firstly, bats consume millions of insects. These insects are known to damage crops as well as spread diseases in human beings. Secondly, bats are important pollinators of fruits such as mangoes, papayas, and bananas. With no bats around, fruit lovers would face tough times. Thirdly, research suggests that bats maintain more than 50% of the world's old rainforest. With no bats, time to say goodbye to world's forest cover. Fourthly, bats are important pollinators of cacti. Cacti play a crucial role in supporting life in deserts. With no bats, deserts will be a much tougher place to survive in. Lastly, with all bats disappearing, producers of Batman movies will find it difficult to find a new name as well as a new mascot. What if all spiders disappeared? Then what will happen to Spider-Man? I will miss him. Oh, Firstly, people with arachnophobia, as in fear of spiders, will be one happy lot. Secondly, museums will open up, showcasing the strength as well as the engineering marvel of a spider web. Thirdly, spiders are ferocious predators of pests. Without any spiders, these pests will eat away our crops. Humanity will probably face a famine-like situation. Fourthly, spiders' venom as well as spiders' web are believed to have a number of medicinal properties. With no spiders, medical fraternity will definitely suffer a big loss. Fifthly, Spider-Man will probably lose his superpowers. Superheroes will be in for a shock. Lastly, with no more spiders, directors of scary Hollywood movies may run out of new ideas to scare people. What if all snakes disappeared? Then I will become a snake and scare everybody. Oh, I'm the pollinators. What if all cats suddenly disappeared? Then I will bring them back using my awesome magic wand. Wow, It is estimated that there are about 600 million cats in the world. Now, if they were to suddenly disappear, firstly, hearts of millions and millions of people who love cats will surely be broken. Secondly, rats and birds will definitely throw an afterparty.
So I think this video was very evident, teachers, that when any animal, particularly when we were just trying to talk about the sparrow, so without a notice, gradually that particular species has become extinct. Go back and check around, so many species are gradually getting extinct because of the habitat loss, but we are not worrying about it. We just say one species, it's okay. But probably if you just take sparrow as a center of the entire niche or the habitat, because of that loss, I think probably we have an increase in the mosquitoes or the insect population. So if you see, ultimately with every species which is getting lost, the nature balance is getting into an imbalance, right? But look at the flip part of it. Probably I'm just leaving this question to you. It's a thought for you. I will not give any answer. In this entire video, we were seeing if any one species is getting lost and we are negligent about it, with time, how it is going to come back to we human beings, because we are socially and economically also dependent on each and every species on this earth. But at the same time, I'll give a question to you. Imagine a day when only human beings will go extinct and the rest, all the species will prevail on this earth. I'm sure you've seen a video already. I mean, it was in social media, it was flaunting around. I think with some time, nothing will happen. The world will become a beautiful, greener world. Right? Gradually, most of the houses, the buildings, the concretes, the nuclear power plants, and etc., what we have built for ages now, will gradually, the nature will start taking up on that. Probably we might have some explosions here and there, but it's going to be a beautiful world again. So this now time for us to question by which is better. So is the species, other species which are so favorable to humankind should prevail and continue to be in harmony, or it is in a day would appear when we human beings become extinct and the rest of the entire other species going to be remain happy about it, right? Yes, so let's proceed further to this and why this particular topic is very important. I think, hope human. One thing is sure, you're aware of this topic called Sustainable Development Goals, because this topic of SDG has become very crucial and essential after 2020. That is the year we all have received NEP, National Education Policy. So, I mean, is it that because NEP told we have got into Sustainable Development Goals, or Sustainable Development Goal is actually one of the reasons for NEP to be part of us? Let's understand through this session. So as Pooja was rightly pointing it out, globally, throughout the world, the countries came together in addressing these issues. Now, whatever we discussed about species extinction and the humankind, it could be the poverty, it could be the climate change which is happening, the seasonal variation, and many other challenges when the entire world was facing it. Under the UN, the entire the world came together. The 70th session of the UN General Assembly, held on 25th September 2015, adopted the Sustainable Development Goals with 17 goals and 169 targets. It's very important to understand this, teachers, because this is what we are going to bring it into our curriculum. It's as classroom practices. It is not only to understand the goals, we have to also understand what is a target, because every goal will have a target. It will have a deadline, like any of our lesson plan, right? Yeah. Under this official agenda, transforming our world, the 2030 agenda for sustainable development, India is a signatory to this landmark agreement, and trust me, India is making a significant progress towards it, right? And a lot of planning is happening. But when a goal is set and when any progression is happening, it's very important to identify where we are reaching. So officially, the SDG came into effect from 1st of January 2016. Member countries have the responsibility for follow-ups and review the progress made in implementing the goals and targets. So once that goals were set up in 2016, now it is a responsibility back home, right? For example, when you attend any meeting, the principal will delegate the responsibility to you to go back and you have to do the work. So similarly, the countries who have signed and they came back, and now it is on their shoulders to start working towards it. So the member countries have their own goals and targets. So SDG is an intergovernmental agreement set of goals relating to international development, which aims at meeting the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. So that's sustainable development goals. So coming back, I was asking, a lot of landscapes have changed, probably buildings have come in, but keeping development is very, very essential. I'm not trying to tell that we still have to go back and stay in a landscape where village exists, but having to live in the harmony, also focusing on that development is very important. Yeah. So now I'm just giving you one glimpse, teachers, how the entire structure follows. So you have a goal, and there's a target, and there's an indicator, right? That's how we all work in any goals. Probably, again, going back, completion of a particular chapter, you have a goal. What is a target? By when will you finish? And how did you finish? Your indicators. So similarly, SDG also has their goals, target, and the indicators. So moving forward, I'm showing you one example, but I'll take you detailedly when it comes to our classroom practices, very detailedly, I will take it through. But I'm just showing you from goal number 1, which focuses on no poverty. So what is it trying to tell? End of 2030. So end poverty in all its forms everywhere. That is a goal. That's just, it's a tagline. It's a goal. Then how do we identify this? So what is a target? Target 1.1. If this is goal number 1, what is 1.1? By 2030, eradicate extreme poverty for all people everywhere, currently measured as people living on less than $1.25 a day. This is the target. And 1.3 example I'm sharing with you, implement nationally appropriate social protection systems and measure for all, including flows, and by 2030 achieve substantial coverage of the poor and the vulnerable. How do we measure that? What is the indicator? So to achieve this 1.1 target, proportion of population living below the national poverty line in what percentage? Percentage of households with any usual member covered by a health scheme or a health insurance, number of beneficiaries under integrated child development scheme in numbers. So that is the reason I think you can see teachers, in recent decades, you would be seeing a lot of health checkups which is happening, and in schools also a lot of mandate, probably giving a medicine related to iron rich supplements, calcium rich supplements, and working on the E. coli, right? So those are all the initiative which actually links to this, right? Moving forward. Yeah. So now coming back, so there is actually a nodal agency. Niti Aayog is the nodal agency in India, which is responsible for the task of coordinating work on SDGs by adopting a synergetic approach, and MOSPI, which is a ministry under statistics and progress. So they are actually developing indicators. So this particular nodal agency is looking into all the planning and implementation. MOSPI is responsible for indicator framework and has developed national indicator framework in consultation with ministries, states, and union territories. At the state level, planning departments are... Is it audible? Okay, moving forward. Yeah. So now we have understood the significance of SDG. It has a goal, it has a target, and it has an indicator. And who is a person? Who are the bodies who are responsible for auditing this? Having understood, let's go back and again link to what Pooja was mentioning in the beginning. She was trying to talk about education as the heart of SDG. Why this stands right? Because SDG, request if teachers can be on mute.
Teachers, please be on mute.
Yeah. So coming back, so SDG number 4, like how I showed you, goal number 1 was I think you can put them on mute. Yeah. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, the goal number 4 focuses on education itself. And this is where I had a question to you. Is it NEP first or SDG first? Actually speaking, teachers, if you can look back, SDG is one of the reasons for we to have NEP focusing a lot towards quality education. A lot of change, a lot of transformation, which India is focusing, the Gen Next, the next education system of India is looking for a drastic change, is because of SDG 4, which is focusing on the quality education. Okay, and that actually signifies that education is the heart of entire SDG structure. A new vision for education towards education 2030 in Copenhagen Declaration and Framework for our action for the implementation of Sustainable Development Goal 4, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning. This is the actual line or the goal which has been set, and that is what is reflecting in our NEPs and NCFs, and of course in our classroom practices, which has really changed in this recent days. Okay, and of course, when we are trying to talk about this SDG 4, what are the main probably the targets? Example here is equity and inclusion, relevant and effective learning, and lifelong learning, and how to achieve. So if I was trying to talk to you about the goal and the targets, now look at the targets we are achieving at, what we're looking at, right? So it's publicly funded primary and secondary education, early childhood development and pre-primary education, access to all levels of education, relevant skills for work, very, very important, because I mean, today, if you can observe the entire education, where are we focusing at? Of course, the demand and supply has always been there. And when did the education system actually start in India? It actually catered when the industrialization started, way back, go back to the history. So when industries wanted human resource, the education syllabus or the portions or the curriculum, what we are trying to talk about, actually catered to that. So now going forward, the next generation jobs are all relevant and actually require skill-based workers. And that is the reason the huge focus on relevant skills for work, gender equality and inclusion of marginalized groups. And that is the reason, teachers, today we are trying to talk, NCF is focusing on inclusive education, youth and adults literacy and numeracy skills. And I'm sure, again, going back, NEP is focusing on the foundational literacy and numeracy, because this SDG goal, and the target is focusing on literacy and numeracy. So literacy is basically trying to comprehend and understand what is happening around me, able to speak, able to express, and basic numeracy skill. I will show you in NEP also how it is getting linked. Learning to live together and protect nature, very, very important. That is what so far we have set the stage on. Safe and inclusive learning environment, more scholarships for students from developing countries, well-trained teachers, and who are valued. Sorry, yeah. Now, so now I will show you the indication how so far we have been moved ahead. Teachers, if you can put it in the chat box, which is a clip, the highest populated country today, as on 2026 census, highest populated country in the world, highest populated country in the world, which I can't see if any answers have come in. Highest populated country.
We have got from Vijana ma'am, India.
India. Okay. Proud India. Yes. Next. Any other answer?
Dear teachers, please share your responses in chat. We would be happy to see them.
the highest populated country in the world. So you say India, okay. Nobody says China. We have outbeaten China in population. Wonderful. Yes, teachers. Yes.
India, yes.
Yes, India. Yes, we are very proud. Yes, of course, because I think human resource is our major strength. Yes, teachers. India, and if you go back second, who stands second? All those countries which stands in second, third, and fourth, if you see, most of the countries come towards the Asian continent, right? So if you just take up this particular one, I'm trying to show you from 2000 to 2030, and in between, if I have to graphically represent and show you from 2000 to 2020 to 2030, where we are aiming at, and India and China and beyond, the countries which are thickly populated. So if you see where we stand now, we are standing at minimum proficiency in reading and mathematics, net enrollment ratio, formal and non-formal education and training, adults who completed primary or secondary education, inequality indices for education indicators, adult literacy, proportion of schools offering basic services, organized teacher training. This is what is the focus and the target to be reached by 2030. These becomes our criteria, and these are going to be our indicators in by 2020 and 2030. So we as Indians together, again I repeat, teachers, you are the one who is shaping the country. Please imagine, now we are in 2026. In next 5 years, very soon this 2030 target is going to be reached. And just go back and check. I think from if any very senior teachers are here, the child who was with you as a student in 2000, where is he or she today? Okay, so are they actually, I mean, did you contribute anything towards this targets? Right. So what at the sub-regional development trends and significant implementation in the education, it's very, very important. And these are real case study and probably the results I can tell. So teachers, please note trends in demography. More than 50% of population in Central Asia are young people. It's very true because it's a growing graph. I think you know the in population study, there is actually a growing graph and a declining graph. In that way, India is actually a growing graph when it comes to population and also the species wise, right? So it's that's the reason it reflects here. We have more young generation. External and internal migration, economic disparities, and a decrease in youth labor force participation all have an impact on target 4.3 and 4.4. Next, coming to the trends in social and economic development, national budgets allotted to social development have grown slightly with a more intersectoral collaboration and integrated approach. Skills mismatch between education and the demands of the labor market, very significant. So our education today should cater to the lifelong learning who actually can, make a life out of it, right? So that mismatch should not be there. Significant structural transformation and industrial modernization of economic diversification, private sector development, and job creation due to the transition to a market economy over the last decades. So teachers, if you have observed in just this one decade, how there has been a shift. I mean, if you have known, suddenly there was an increase in SAP, those who know the skill of SAP, right? And now today it's the world of AI. So AI is not something which can replace. AI is another tool. So you need to have a knowledge of AI to get into your jobs. So in recent trends, the requirement of job skills are changing. Accordingly, are we really catering? And now coming to the most significant part, trends in climate change and the environment. Natural disaster and environment degradation affect access to education in the sub-regions. I mean, since I have the privilege today, I have many teachers joining me from Kerala. So I think it's one of the state which has really witnessed or been a victim of such floods and the landscape, which has happened in Wayanad and many other places, right? So we have seen the number of periods getting less, the schools go on vacation quite often, and it is one of the reason for it, right? So why it is happening? Climate change is affecting, and that is in a way, it's vice versa connected to the natural disasters which is happening, right? Then trends in technological development, connectivity and ICT infrastructure is developing, but doesn't cover all. Technology in education has become critically important as support of classroom interaction. Distance and hybrid education models have expanded, which impact the internet connectivity, online teaching, and an increase in smartphone use. So COVID-19 was one example that way. Pandemic disrupted implementation towards many of the SDGs, and in some cases turned back years of progress in Europe and Central Asia. Average student achievement will decline to 6%. So the growth I was showing, from 2000 to 2020 to 2030, actually because of COVID, a lot of development, a lot of progress actually declined from, at least from overall 6%. Yeah. So coming back, teachers. And now, how are we going to implement? And let me move forward. So if you consider this, equity and inclusion, very, very important aspect in our classroom today, as per the NEP recommendations also, how we can bring, increase the enrollment and ensuring no child feel unsafe in a school environment and doesn't want to move out of. It's not only education, but coming to the school, feeling safe in the classroom, and that actually makes him or her to build a character and move on in their life. So we are also focusing on the EQ, emotional quotient here, right? So it's here already. Just if you can focus on this line, lifelong learning system, then flexible pathways between education levels and widening equality, affordable higher education. These are the things which we have to focus a lot in coming days. Right. Moving forward. So now connecting the SDG to our NEP. So these are the screenshot directly from our NEP, and so if you see the point number 4.23, which is trying to talk a lot about liberty, equality, and fraternity, bringing into our and giving a lot of importance to our Indian knowledge system. And most important, can you see this particular line here? If my cursor is fine, environmental awareness, water and resource conservation, current affairs, knowledge, and etc., community development. So this has to be part of our curriculum. When I say this, probably in English, it's not just memorizing a poem or a prose, but if I can bring in a prose and a poem which can talks about conservation, or probably a direct story from one piece from Kerala, where one family which got affected because of the landslide, and what are the problems they faced. If that can be part of our chapters in English, and how we are going to socially, economically link to that, that's going to be the need of the hour, and that is the change even NCF is actually recommending through the competencies. Moving forward. So again, coming back, one of the primary goals of schooling system must be to ensure that children are enrolled in and attending schools through initiatives such as the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Again, since Pooja was already highlighting, I had the privilege to work with Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Lot of work has been taken up from the government sector also to ensure students get quality education and they are enrolled into school. I think you know that midday meal schemes which they are doing, and a lot of NGOs also contributing towards it, right? That's one of the good way. And we as teachers, what we can add, I think we can connect a lot towards emotion and giving them a platform where they feel it's not by force but by their choice they are coming to the schools. The Right to Education Act, India has made remarkable stride in recent years in attaining the near universal enrollment in elementary education. However, the data for the later grades has to be it indicates some serious issues in retaining children in the schooling system. So this is very threatening. So if somebody is not going to go for a higher education, why? What's happening there, right? And so in 2013, it must be a top priority of the country to bring these children back into the education system. That's what we are trying to emphasize on. Right. And now, again, this is very, very important. This is from the 0.11 of NEP, which focuses on quality education. Look at this line, teachers, very, very striking. The implementation of previous policies. Please remember, we got the policy in the year 2020, and previously also we had the policy. But look at what they themselves are trying to tell. The implementation of previous policies on education has focused mainly on issues of access and equity, with lesser emphasis on quality of education. So now it is a time for us to focus on the quality of education, which we have just now discussed in this past few minutes. Moving forward. Yeah. So this I've already discussed with you. So to summarize how we have to bring into the classroom scenarios, we'll discuss about this in the next few minutes. So schools play a key role in shaping sustainable behavior. Experiential learning increases responsibility. Awareness gaps remain high in food waste, soil health, climate impacts, and responsible citizenship. So teachers, it is not just trying to tell that don't waste food. By wasting food, what is going to happen? Does wasting food impact climate change? Are we educating our students based on this? This is something has to be questioned. Students' exposure to sustainability projects, it's actually very low. It's less than 35%. But your experiential learning projects has to focus on sustainable development goals. Very, very important. A multidisciplinary ESG approach is required to link science, policy, and community action. We have to focus. I mean, I think you know that entrepreneur programs which are taken up in a lot of other states. I think Delhi is one such state which took up entrepreneur programs for students of 9th and 10th and 11th and 12th. And how can, I mean, this helps the child to look into the leadership, policy, finance, and many other things. So community action is very important. Aligning school content with SDGs can convert awareness into measurable, environmental impact. Moving forward, I'm very happy to share some of the projects which I had taken up, taking our students on behalf of eco clubs and discussing about the significance of the nature around and how one particular tree is actually a food chain, and bringing the importance, observation, key skills, all that, how we can take it up, right? So this is again one of the programs where we take our students to excursion and trying to get, because it's very important. Nowadays, if you ask our children, where do you get milk from? They say we are getting milk from packet, right? So probably I think we are losing out on the context and making a child understand where it is coming from. Even Google Pay is one example. Probably our students feel that mobile is fed with money and Papa, Mama can afford to buy anything through Google Pay. But they should also know the effort a parent is actually investing in getting even a small even in affording for a kg of a rice, right? So that is the reason NCF is again calling for financial literacy. So experiential learning, community projects, real world environmental activities, strengthening SDG linked education offers a long-term pathway to reduce ecological footprint, right? Moving forward, teachers, now I have one question for you, so you can take this up. So now we are moving to how we can take this into a classroom scenario. There's a question which has appeared on your screen. You can take down this question, make it fast. And I'll have a questions related to this. So there is a story sum. Once you have read this or taken this, let me know. I will have the questions to you. Done? Read the question? Finish reading the question? Wonderful. Right. So I have a question for you all now. This is the question. There are many questions. Sorry for that, but I think it's only fine. What was the tomato yield in 2023? What was the tomato yield in 2024? Total income. Calculate Ravi's total income from tomato sales in each year. Calculate Ravi's profit or loss in each year. In which year did Ravi earn the highest profit? Find the percentage increase or decrease in profit from 2022 to 2024. I'll give you 1 minute. If somebody answers, if somebody can give me the right answer for all the 5, you will receive a goodie from my side. And Pooja, I think you're keeping a check. If any answers for all the 5 in next 1 minute, they're going to receive a goodie from my side.
Yes, yes. And I'll make sure that you give that goodie.
Absolutely. Very nice.
Yes, dear teachers.
Someone
Yes,
who can
let us have answers.
Tick tick 10, 9, tick tick 8, tick tick 7, tick tick 6, tick tick 5, tick tick 4, tick tick 3, tick tick 2, tick tick 1. Anybody? Anyone who could answer?
So no, we got to keep the goodie with us.
Yeah, we have to keep the goodie with us. Right. Thank you. Right. Let me reveal the answers, teachers. So the tomato yield in 2023 is 15% of 10 kg, which is 1,500 kg. So it's 10,000 minus 1,500, 8,500 kg. So tomato yield in 2024 was 10,200 kg. And look at the total income from sales. So what is the profit or loss in each year? At least now somebody can tell me which year did he have the highest profit? Which year? It's 2022, correct? So
Yes.
now
Yes, true.
there is a decrease in the profit, which is very, very important, because for human being existence, we are talking so much about ecological, social, all that, but everything deems down to economic, right? So now let's come back and see profit is decreased by 0.75% from 2022 to 24. But is it right, teachers? Because money value keeps appreciating 2022 to 24. I'm sure you all are from Kerala, so I can openly ask you, what has been the price of gold from 2022 to 2024 to 2026? Is it increasing or decreasing?
Right now, it is somewhere 1.5 only. So I can tell you that, yeah. That also
Yes.
has come down to some in recent days, but otherwise it was 1.8 or something.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the money value is actually depreciating and the value of the goods or the commodities is appreciating. And now as a farmer, if he is actually reducing on his profit, is it good or bad? Is it good or bad? Actually, in a way, it's bad. I mean, if we can step into the shoes of the farmer, we all want to earn more, right? So what is the reason for him to reduce on the profit? Why I gave you this particular question, teachers? Yes, of course, it's a mathematical question and a skill-based question. But ultimately, these questions, these case study-based questions are all linked to SDG. Okay, so probably if I have to ask you the reason for all this, there could be a reason of less available of land. It could be a reason of soil. It can be a reason of climate change, or who knows, what is happening from 22 to 24, this poor farmer is growing only tomato. There is no proper guidance to him. There's no education for him. There's no awareness. There's no policy. That is there are many reasons for him to have reduced in his profit margin. Getting my point, teachers? These are the kind of questions and the content which has to now start entering into our classrooms. So going forward, I am going to give you some ideas which we can bring it into a classroom based on the SDGs. And to be precise, I think the Headword books, which our team member will actually be there for you, is all the books in social science, mathematics, or even pre-primary have deliberately, very sensitively, in a very research way, they've actually integrated SDG into their curriculum. So I'm just showcasing some ideology for you to take back to your classroom, practices. So now, what is our SDG goal number 1 says? No poverty. So in classroom, how you can do classroom connection through social studies, empathy projects, because that's what I just discussed with you. So through social studies, I'm trying to develop empathy towards a farmer. And you as a student, tomorrow you're entrepreneurs, you might become a agriculture officer or anything else, or you might have you can become a owner of a fertilizer company. You can think of planning, this decision making, lot of opportunities, and problem solving is one of the skills now. So how you're going to connect to that. Next, moving to zero hunger, which is our SDG 2. So probably we can talk about school gardening, food sharing campaigns, and many other things. And you can also take a very good example I'll give you. Probably you take dig a hole in any of your plots, and if space is available around the school, and previous day put some eatables, and next day come back. I mean, you just have to place a net on the top, and next day when you come back and see, you can see a lot of insects which has tried to come in, right? So that school, you can actually understand how insects are connected, and what is the role, what is decomposition, and many other things. I'm just giving you one example like that. Moving forward, so SDG 3 focuses on good health and well-being. So you can have a lot of programs on mental health and awareness, hygiene, workshops. I think yoga and a lot of games which you're practicing already in the schools, that can be one. That is what you have to focus. Then quality education, I've spoken a lot about it, because that is very, very important for we as educators to, and it's actually, I told though Niti Aayog is a nodal agency for taking an audit of it, it is the responsible of every individual, and we as educators, we hold a high responsibility when it comes to SDG number 4. So what does it say? Ensure inclusive and equitable education, quality education, and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So we have to build in inquiry-based learning, inclusive practices can be brought in. Then SDG 5 speaks about gender equality. So gender role discussion, equal opportunity in the clubs, and taking back them to any of the community projects, that would help a lot. Then clean water and sanitation, so activities such as water audit, hand washing campaigns. Water audit it's very easy, teachers, but it really helps them, and the children will be thrilled when you do this. I'll give you an example. Probably take a particular, maybe in your washroom itself. Take the, electricity bill itself is one good example. So you can take the bill, how much is the unit which has been consumed, and try to implement some of the measures, right? How you can conserve, probably switch on the fans and lights and the washrooms. I'm trying to talk about water audit, right? So deliberate attempt not to waste water. And within 1 month, you can come to know the unit of water which has been used, because electricity bill is very much an indicator. It is measurable. So that gives you very good ideas. Then moving forward, affordable and clean energy, use solar powered school projects. Then SDG 8, which talks about decent work and economic growth, talk about entrepreneurships and ethical work. This I've already spoken in detail. Then industry and innovation and infrastructure. So bringing in STEAM projects into these schools. That's the reason we are focusing a lot on STEM education and integrating art into the STEAM projects and all that, so that you can do building models and simple, like your Lego activities, which you do in pre-primary, is one of the base, I can call it. Moving forward. So SDG 10, focus on reduced inequalities. So focus on inclusive activities and anti-bullying. Then sustainable cities and communities, model green communities in your school club. You, actually speaking, teachers, a school is a center of a community. You as a school can actually, build a model project and call the community. Who are the communities? Nothing but your parents, more than enough. You have access, because pulling in some people together is so difficult, but for you it's easy. You give a notification, you send a memo, tomorrow you have at least, whatever the strength of your school is, that many parents will be right in front of you. So you are a center of a community, and such model green community projects can be taken up through club activities. Moving forward, responsible consumption and production. So I already spoke about waste audit, eco-friendly, do-it-yourself projects can be taken up. Then climate action, school gardens, cleanup drives, climate pledges, very, very important. Then life below water, plastic-free campaign, artwork with ocean themes, and teachers. Again, I say it's a privilege to have teachers from Calicut here. So you know how patrolling of olive red turtle, it could be one example, and having a drive on a weekends where we can go and see, where we can clean our coastal lines, which are overwhelmed with plastic and many other wrappers and all that. So such projects can be easily taken up. Then life on land, tree planting, biodiversity campaign, peace, justice, and strong institutions in SDG goal number 16. So you can have debates, mock parliaments, right awareness. This helps them to become a future policy makers. Then involve community, parents, and other schools. I've spoken about it. Yeah. So these are some of the projects I myself have done it. So I'm very happy to share those glimpses here. So you have this, 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏, which is renewable energy. They actually help you. They're very happy when we go with such projects. They're very happy to come back and show what are the, solar panels and devices. And here again, I take the privilege to tell you, Kochi is one of the, it's very well known. It's well known. When we're trying to talk about solar energy, I think some teachers can help me and they can put it in the chat box. It is one of the airport which is completely run through solar energy. Don't you think it's such a pride thing to talk about? Yes. So such projects can be taken up. Community, this is one of my work with the communities. Right. So, we are very close to, already 4 minutes past the scheduled time. But yes, thank you teachers for joining me in and discussing this very significant topic today on sustainable development goals. So I end with one line: nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. And it's our time, it's our responsibility, and we are accountable for bringing the change. So thank you so much for patiently hearing me out, and let's join hand together to make at least a better world for tomorrow and to our students tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pallavi. It was a wonderful session. Dear teachers, do you have any questions, queries, or doubts about it? Any question? If you have, you may ask, or we'll wrap up the session. Okay, I think we are getting a lot of thank yous. So that means it has reached to the right group of teachers from a right kind of speaker, and I think that solves the purpose. right? So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today with us in this impactful and such a learning session with us for us by Miss Pallavi. And we thank you, Miss Pallavi, for being here today with her time for all of us. Looking forward to many more sessions with all of you teachers, and we welcome you and we request you to keep connected. Stay tuned for more such webinars in future. Thank you once again, everyone. Anything, Pallavi?
That's it. Thank you so